If you're here in the US, I hope you are enjoying your Thanksgiving weekend. I know I have. If you are not in the US, well, I hope you're still enjoying your weekend. Hey everybody, Nick from 9card TCG, and today we're going to be looking at a deck that has kind of ebbed and flowed in the past couple of months. When it first came out, it was extremely popular, and then Evolving Skies came around, took a little bit of a dip, and now with Fusion Strike, it's kind of back on the rise, so we might as well check it out. And it's before we go on to the deck list, we're talking about, of course, straight Ice Rider Calyrex, and yeah, that's the deck. Ice Rider Calyrex V is a 210 water type Pokemon that's weak to Steel because technically it's ice, but in the trading card game, types are bundled together. So water consists of water and ice, and grass is things like bug and grass, and fighting is rock, ground, and fighting. And so they compile or group these things together so that they don't have to make as many support cards, and there's not too many typings, and then there's not too thin card lines for different things. But anyway, that's why they do it. So that's why you might see a water type weak to Steel versus a water type weak to Electric. So that's one of the reasons why dark types like Umbreon are weak to grass, because technically grass is bug type as well, and bug is super effective against dark. And I went on way too long about that. So Ice Rider Calyrex V, 210 water type Pokemon weak to Steel or metal in the game. 1 water energy, Pierce does 40 damage. 3 energies, 2 water, and a colorless. Glacial Lance does 200, but you have to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. We're probably not going to be using Ice Rider V very much, although the Pierce can be a nice way to just kind of finish off a Pokemon. But we're really looking at Ice Rider Calyrex Vmax, 320 HP. Rider the High King does 10 damage, plus an additional 30 for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And you have Max Lance for 2 water energies, 10 damage, plus an additional 120 damage for each water energy you discard off this Pokemon with a maximum of 2. So you can do max 250 with Max Lance. Really, really nice. We are, of course, supplementing this with the Rapid Strike Inteleon Quick Shooting and the Shady Dealings Inteleon line. So we're going to be able to search our deck for things that we want with Drizzile and Shady Dealings Inteleon while fixing some math using Inteleon's Quick Shooting. And of course, you see that we have the Crobat V to help draw support. You can see right here I'm running the 70 HP Sobble, and that was because when I built this deck originally, Dragapult was still very popular. However, Dragapult has kind of fallen off because of the prevalence of dark decks, so the 60 HP Keep Calling Sobble is probably the better move here. And the reason I say that is because worst case scenario, you can still attach an energy and keep calling to get more Sobbles onto the bench. But the 70 HP was better when Dragapult was around. So because the snipe damage that we have with Jolteon and Rapid Strike Urshifu is greater than 70 HP anyway, it doesn't really matter which one we choose, so we might as well choose the one that gets us set up a little bit better. So in the gameplay, you will see that this has changed to the 60 HP Sobble. The rest of the deck is very, very consistent with other Ice Rider Suicune and any type of water deck where we are mainly using Melony to accelerate energies and also draw some cards. We do have a couple of draw supporters like Professor's Research and Marnie. We do run 2 boss disorders. We run a Raihan, 7 basic water energies. The other main attraction here is Path to the Peak, which shuts down your opponent's abilities, or shuts down every ability really from any Pokemon that has a rule box. And now the only Pokemon in this deck that has an ability with the rule box is Crobat V. So we can work around it by playing Crobat before Path to the Peak, or maybe we just don't use Crobat because we still have the selective search through the Inteleon Shady Dealing line. So Path to the Peak is really, really helpful for turning off things like Umbreon's Dark Single ability, Genesect's Cross Fusion Strike System ability, which is super important for Mew. So there's a lot of things that this ability will, the Path to the Peak will turn off Shadow Rider. So it's really important that we do have Path to the Peak, and I am running 4 of them. It might seem like a high count, but there's so many decks that rely on abilities, particularly Mew, that I want a lot of Path to the Peaks. And then we have all of our Pokemon Search, Evolution Incense, Level Ball, Quick Balls. We have a couple of Capacious Buckets to help get some water energies. Scoop Up Net, so that if we have 2 Sobbles on the bench and 1 Drizzile on hand, we can evolve 1 Sobble with the Drizzle, or Drizzile, search for something, Scoop Up Net, and then play the Drizzile on our second Sobble. So we kind of get a 2-for-1 wombo combo using Scoop Up Net. It also helps us get something like a Sobble out of the active, or like a Drizzile out of the active, so that we can freely promote our Ice Rider and start attacking. So that's pretty much the deck. I've been seeing it do pretty well, so let's see if I can not mess this up. Alright, going into the first game, and if this is your first time checking out the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving it a try. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you never miss another video. We are going to be going second here, not the end of the world, but we definitely want to be going first. We do start a mulligan, so, you know, not exactly the start I was hoping for, but it is what it is. We start an Ice Rider, we get a Level Ball, and a Water Energy, so we can just start off with a Pierce. And we have a Capacious Bucket. I would love a Quick Ball. Quick Ball would be pretty cool, because then we can get a Water Energy out of the discard pile. They're playing Mew, so this is definitely some type, like we see right here, a Suicune deck. They're going to Mysterious Tail, look at the top 5 cards of that deck, I believe, and pull a Trainer card out of it. Top 6 cards, and pull an item card. So, a wider search, but you are a little more hindered at what you can get. They're going to Quick Ball probably for another Minccino over here, or maybe another Suicune. Another Minccino. So, we don't have to worry about weakness in this game, but they are going to have some pretty strong draw power with all these make-dos. Now, we of course are going to attach. We're going to get a Level Ball ourselves. I forgot to switch over the Sobbles to the Keep Calling version, so that's fun. And we are going to Marnie. I don't really want to research the Scrappers away, because the Scrapper will be pretty important for dealing with Cape of Toughness. We can Path the Peak, kind of turn off their fleet-footed. A lot of times Suicune decks don't run stadiums. So we'll just go ahead and Pierce. We really don't have too much else to do. But next turn we can attach a Water Energy Drizzile for an Evolution Incense, and now we can get our Ice Rider out and attack that Suicune. If anything, if they don't put the Suicune in the active, then we just Rider the High King, because now it'll do 3, 6, 9, 120, 130 damage. They're going to boss up my Sobble. That actually is kind of fine, because I can manually attach the energy, retreat it, Melony. So they think they're boss stalling me, but they're not. So we can just do this, and we can Melony. So we draw the Evolution Incense, which is really nice. And we're going to Quick Ball away. We don't really need the Crobat right now, because the Path to the Peak is going to stay in play for a majority of the game. So we're going to go ahead and get another Sobble. And I'm actually going to hang on to my Drizzile. There's no need for me to go and get... I don't need anything. I played a supporter. I can get them next turn. So we're just going to Rider the High King, take this KO. Because now I can get a... you know, maybe I should have evolved one so I can get the Drizzile, the Inteleon in play, but fine. And I could have got like a research for next turn or something. That would have been smarter. But this is what I was afraid of with the getting rid of that Tool Scrapper, because now I can go ahead and Shady Dealings for the Tool Scrapper, and they just concede. Game number 2, and if you like what you're seeing or you want to help the channel grow, we're doing a giveaway, a nice first edition variety giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to help the channel grow, you can leave a like, leave a comment. All that kind of stuff helps the channel, tells YouTube this is a good video and other people should watch it. So we have a less than stellar hand here. I do not like this. This wouldn't have been, I mean, even if we go first and this was the Keep Calling Sobble, it wouldn't make a difference, because I can't keep calling first turn anyway. But we can try to dump some cards before we Crobat and then drop Path. Playing an electric deck. We'll thin out the deck a little bit. And we will attach one to the active so that we can retreat next turn. They're going to quick ball. So, Boltund, this might be, yeah, I was going to say, it's a Rayquaza Vmax. Path to the Peak is pretty important for shutting off the Azure Pulse ability on Rayquaza Vmax. I kind of wish I did drop the Path last time, but I do need the Crobat myself. They have a Stormy Mountains. Of course, they could have just thrown the Stormy Mountains down first and actually gotten in. Oh, actually, they might not have had it before they Crobatted, so could have stopped them for a turn. But there's the Electrified. They're going to go ahead and set up one of their Rayquazas. So it's not looking super, super solid, but we can do something like this. We can get a Drizzile. We will Drizzile. We'll get a Quick Ball. No, not a Level Ball, Quick Ball. Quick Ball away this Water Energy. So we have one guaranteed in the discard. We'll go ahead and get an Ice Rider. We will Melony to our Ice Rider. We have another Quick Ball. We have a Level Ball, rather. So, what do we want to discard? We definitely want to... do I want to hang on to that? I can't research. I can't do anything else. I just played this, so I can't get an Evolution Incense. We're going to get rid of this Raihan, I think. And we're going to set up another Ice Rider. We'll get a Level Ball. We will get... I'll get the Evolution Incense, I suppose. Maybe I go Scoop Up Net. Scoop Up Net might be a better idea, because then I can play the Sobble down next turn. We'll do this. We'll draw 3. And we will Path. And I guess we will just Pierce. So now we have the option, if they do knock this out, we can go ahead and get like a Capacious Bucket or a Melony, whatever we need. They could just Bolt Storm. Doesn't take the KO because we're not weak to electric. So let's see here. I do want to take out this Rayquaza, so I might just... I'm going to... I should have got the Evolution Incense, got the Shady Dealings, but... that would have been smart. Should have Drizzile for an Evolution Incense to get the Shady Dealings and Inteleon, because then... Which is not even in the deck, but then I could have got like a Boss's Orders and an Evolution Incense again. I done messed up. That's not what I want. I want you. And they didn't really do anything last turn, so I'm not gonna... I'm not going to Marnie them. They didn't do anything. They just attached an energy and attacked. So now Rider High King will do 3, 6, 9, 12, 130. Not enough to knock it out, so I do have to Max Lance to take this thing out, right? That's okay. That's not the end of the world, because we have a water energy. We can try to see if we can hopefully come across a Melony. We'll see what they do. Our hand's pretty big, and they didn't do anything last time, so they might just scoop. Seeing the size of our hand and no options really on their end. They can't Azure Pulse if they throw down a Rayquaza Vmax. They use their supporter. Okay. It lets them search up to 3 Pokemon V, which does include the Vmaxes. So if they have a stadium, they might be back in business. That's if they have a stadium. And our max burst, discard 2. I'll discard just 1. That Air Balloon was a incredible top deck. We'll go ahead and get our last 2 water energies. This way we can go ahead and thin the deck out a little bit more. We'll Inteleon ping here. And we will, if I ride it a High King, that'll do 1, it'll do 3, 6, it'll do 100, and I'll be able to take him out next turn with Max Lance. So we'll ride it a High King this turn, and the next turn Max Lance to get the 3 prizes. I think that's the way to do it. I may have forgotten to Shady Dealings. They're going to use Rose and discard their hand. So they will... 8. No, they just concede. They have nothing, no other options thanks to Path to the Peak. And there you go. There's Ice Rider Calyrex Vmax. You can see that it is very, very strong. Path to the Peak is super useful for shutting down abilities. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it against something like Mew, and we didn't get to see it against something like Shadow Rider, where the abilities are just so important. But you can see how it functions, and the Drizzile engine and using Melony to accelerate energies and draws is so good. I absolutely love the deck, and hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, like I said, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing this video are all huge ways to tell YouTube that this channel needs to be seen by more people, and I think it does. But that is going to do it for us today, and yeah, I'll see you next time.